Matt first became a police officer when we first started dating.
When I met Randy, he was already a police officer and an ambulance driver. He started when he was around 15 as a junior ambulance driver.
I met him and right away he had just finished the academy and he had just taken his first role as an officer not too long after it. So we kind of started that journey together.
So when I met him, that was his career, so that was just who he was.
When we first started our relationship and we didn't have children, when he would go to work, I would worry a lot. I would text him and call him, and if I didn't hear anything back, I immediately went to worst case scenario.
Back in his days of police work, there were no cell phones at that time, but we used to have the police radio in our home. So, I could hear things that were going on. So naturally, if something happened while he was on duty, and I didn't have a way to talk to him, or, it would be a while until I could hear from him, those were anxious moments.
One day I was downstairs in the basement doing laundry, and Luke was upstairs, and he shouts, "Mommy, there's a police officer." And I said, "Where?" And he says, "There's a police officer outside." And that's the way that you find out that something has happened. And I hadn't heard from Matt at all that day, which in my normal mind was like, okay, it's fine. But the second that he said that, I ran up the stairs and looked outside. Thankfully, there was nobody there. So I turned to Luke and I said, "I thought you said a police officer was here." And he said, "No, Mom, they just drove by." So it was fine. But to get that fear and to know that something could have happened, it was hard.
Randy recently shared a conversation with me that he had with a coworker who's also a former police officer. They were talking about school security and all the shootings that have been happening in our nation. But in their conversation, they both said that they would be the first responders running to the incident, not running away from it or sending someone else, because that's who they are, and that's who they've always been.
Matt makes me incredibly proud every day that he goes to his job. Some days I see what he deals with, and I could never do it. We often have to have Christmas at his police department. And when the kids come in and they see Daddy in his car and in his uniform, it makes my heart swell, because they're so proud of him, and I'm so proud of him because he's doing something that can be so hard. But he's doing it because it's his calling.
I believe once you're a first responder, you're always a first responder, and that's just who he is. He wants to respond and see if he can be of help. And I really think that it's just in their psyche, in their blood. I think they're born with it. I think some people are just born to be first responders.
My name is Jessica Beeler, and my husband is a first responder.
My name is Cindy Doty, and my husband is a first responder.